You know, I mean, yeah, you can take your laptop with you, yada, yada, yada. You can fight me all day long. I'm talking about something that you could give to somebody else.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times I've been on a plane and had a great conversation with somebody, and then they've turned it into a faith, conversation towards the end, which I greatly respect them for, because I don't judge anybody, and if they feel like after talking to me that they feel that they need to, express their faith onto me because they think it's important, I respect them, because faith is something very, it's hard to get, it's hard to believe in, and it's hard to achieve. So I respect anybody with it, but I want my own Bible to where when that person is not preaching, but when they're giving me their thoughts, I want to be able to pull out a book and say, welcome to my world.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? These aren't parables, okay? These aren't parables. These are real stories, and they don't teach lessons. These are from the hearts and the souls of people that have needed music to survive. These are photos that have been made through pain, but created because of music to help the outlet. These are all people with real life things that have happened and real life things they've created because of what the band I'm in has offered and helped them get out. These are not stories to teach a lesson. These are real stories from real people, and they have names. And, I want to be able to pull one of those out of my backpack and say, welcome to my life. Everything I just got done telling you is right here. Take the time to read this and see how it really works in this life. See kids who are in despair, who have nowhere else to turn and have nothing to trust in, but they trust in myself and my 8 other brothers enough that they took the time to write a story about how we helped them through the worst time of their life. And there's some very profound things going on in this book, and I'm almost done. It's almost completed. I'm looking for, I might be able to squeeze another 150 people in, depending on how many pages it takes in. And, I don't plan on it ever ending anytime soon. I think once the first one's done and everybody holds it and gets a hold of it and reads it and actually understands the knowledge, because knowledge is something you give, and pain is something that you need to heal. And people, I can't wait for a maggot in Australia to meet a maggot from London and say, hey, you have the Maggot Bible. Oh, I see that you have it. Are you in it? Yes, I am. Are you in it? Yes, I am. What page are you on? 84. Oh, my God, I love that photo.
Yeah.
What page are you on? 113. Oh, my God, that story inspired me for a week. That was the dream.
It's a hell of a dream, mate. It's a hell of a dream.
Well, it's just, they've done so much for me. They've done so much for me. And, I want to, it's hard to explain, but I somehow want to bring them together without them being out in the crowd relying on us. I want them to be able to rely on us in thought, but see one another in theory by turning the page and witnessing yourself through someone else, saying, I feel just like this person, and it's because of this band that I'm not at the show right now, but I feel like I am because I felt this way once in my life.
Yeah.
And it just was a surreal thing that overcame me, and it's pretty out there right now, man. It's really special. It really is.
I look forward to seeing it when it's complete.
Yeah, it's going to be done very soon. Basically what has to happen is I'm taking the last submissions now, and like I said, I'm trying to get 200, 100, 150, 200 more people, because it just depends whether they send a small picture or 5 pages. It just all depends.
Yeah.
And then basically I'm going to have a round of books made, and all the people that are helping me do it, I'm going to give them like the first edition of, just paperback. And then basically, I got to look for a publisher so I can get this thing to the world, and I'll take it out on tour. And I'm always going to have one in my backpack, man. And the one that I have in my backpack will never be mine. It'll always be ready to be given to the person that needs it.
That's cool.
Always.
Very cool, man. And look, just to switch away from that briefly to Soundwave Festival, And you're no stranger to Australia or Melbourne itself. But are you a fan of festivals in general? Do you dig on them because you get to see the other bands, or is it just another show? And I mean that with no disrespect, just another show.
I prefer festivals because, I mean, festivals are culture, and no disrespect to my family and my fellow Americans, but American kids are really spoiled because they haven't been, able to get the traditional festival, like a Download or a Nebworth or, Rock 'em Ring, Rock 'em Park, Grass Pop, all those kind of festivals in Europe, and then, now we have this festival in Australia called Soundwave, and what's great is you can roll up in it, and, there's 6 stages, and there's all this potential. I'm waiting to go on way late at night, but I'm going to get there early, and I get to see a bunch of bands that I normally wouldn't get to see if I waited 365 days in my own hometown. So not only do I get to see a bunch of great music, but I get to meet a bunch of great people. I get to sightsee. I love to people watch. I get to walk around at local vendors, see things that aren't available where I'm from, witness things, experience things, try different foods, and just partake in culture, in society known as a festival. So I prefer festivals over like an arena show where there's 3 bands. And it's like the first band's on, okay, hour and a half to the show. Second band's on, 45 minutes, it's shake and bake. It's like I've been waiting all day to play, but then all of a sudden there's this downtime where you get real tired before the storm. There's a calm before the storm, and then all of a sudden you're kind of like in the zone, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, get ready. And you're just kind of like, whoa, I don't know if I'm ready or if I can get ready. I've been ready all day until this time hit. But a festival is just an ongoing stimulation. It's like you're being stimulated all day long, from people watching to different foods to great music to just everything, man.
Yeah.
You need to take a nap. You go to your world, you lay down and you relax and you get your pass and you go out with, when my tech is done with his job, we go out and walk around and we check shit out and get to partake in some fun things. And when we leave with that experience, and that experience is some of what will go into the next record.
Yeah.
It may not be a specific incident that happens, but all those experiences, you add them up over the years that we're off, you add them all up, and they are the fruits that help plant the seed for the next, plant, to grow, the next album, the next painting to be made. It's all that shit that you download in your head that helps you grow and learn and evolve to get ready to make that next piece of art. So I love festivals.
Well, mate, it has been an absolute pleasure to speak to you and very insightful, and I do hope that I get to catch you at Soundwave. I'll be backstage doing interviews as well, so I certainly hope I get to say hello, and maybe you'll have a copy of that Maggot Bible on hand. I don't know if you'll have it that soon, but...
I was going to say, if you, if you're backstage and you introduce yourself and you remind me about what we, did tonight, and, I'll definitely have chapters on my laptop.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'll let you read a story or two.
Hey, man, that would be awesome.
Put it in perspective for you, so you can spread the word. I mean, there's one picture in particular. I'm not going to tell you. I can't even tell you, like, anything in it.
Yeah.
Because they'll just kind of give it away. But there's so many things that are thought-provoking that, it is a Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just real people that normally on an everyday basis you're never going to meet.
Yep.
But you're tied together because of something special, and it's beautiful. So I'll share that with you. I just want to say real quick, thank you to everyone for all the support we've gotten with Paul. We really appreciate it. We won't forget it. It's really helped, and we miss him very much. And I try to say his name every day to keep him alive and forever. And I just want to say thanks for all the support, and we're looking forward to coming down to Australia. It's one of our favorite places to play. We always have a great time. I always am very enthused to try and get as close to a koala bear as possible because they absolutely scare the living death out of me. I've never heard a noise come out of an animal like I have a koala bear. It was the most frightening. It sounds like it's having its head cut off right in front of you. So I'm actually going to try and hold one this time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm brave enough because I've never, ever experienced anything like hearing a koala bear scream or communicate or whatever it's doing. But anyway, we're going to come down and kick some serious ass with all those bands. If you see the clown walking around, say hi. I'll see you soon. Be good. Be safe. Cheers. See you on the other end.